What is up, guys? It is Sam the Raid Man back with yet another Raid Shadow Legends video. Going to continue our series on best Hydra champions. Today I want to talk about the best epic champions to use in Hydra. The main reason I wanted to make this video, as obviously to help everybody, but also because in my best block buffs champions for Hydra, I made a mistake and left out a key champion who you will see very, very high on this list. So, things that I'm looking at, what do they bring that other champions don't? Specifically, what do they bring better than other epic champions? Because, for example, we have some damage dealers on this list. The damage dealers in this list will not compete, or for the most part, will not compete with legendaries, much less mythicals. So, they are good damage dealers as far as epics go for Hydra. So, keep that in mind. There is obviously a lot of skill with this, with there being two rarities higher than the epic champions. Real quick, guys, get your free legendary LNRO by clicking the link in the description of this video right now. You also get 3 amazing epics in Fane, Ugo, and Tagore as you level up throughout the game. I have 4 simple steps for you today. Step 1, log out of Play and Play on your PC and uninstall it. Step 2, click on the link in the description of this video and register with a brand new email address. Step 3, launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to your inbox and claim your free legendary LNRO. Do not miss out on this chance to get a free legendary LNRO as well as 3 epics, so make sure to click on this link before it expires. So, let me go ahead and start with some honorable mentions. These people were just off the list. If they're not in the honorable mentions or the top 10, either I forgot about them, which I do make mistakes at times, I am human, or I just don't think that they're as close as the other champions. So, first champion I have on the honorable mentions is a Shadowkin damage dealer, Oboro. She's a Void epic, and she's very, very good, specifically with Mikage. If their target is under more debuffs, she has an AoE on the A1 with decreased defense. She plays Perfect Veil, she buffs herself, she does really good damage, but you really have to have very, very good gear and or a 6-star soul on her to make her do crazy things. And if you're using epics in Hydra, it's very unlikely that you don't have better champions in Oboro. But she is very, very good. And I've had some fun with her in the past. Next up is a champion that I wish I could squeeze someone else off the list. I'm just looking ahead of him and I don't know who to take off. And I don't even know exactly what faction he's in. But it is Skrank. It's Ogrins, that's what it is, with his aviator goggles. I don't really know what's going on here with this ugly fella. But Skrank is an awesome damage dealer with HP burn, and then he can place weaken on the A1, increase attack on himself. He stacks up his attack and crit damage up to 25% extra. He hits very, very hard. His potential is a little bit lower than some of the other champions in this list, but HP burn is a great way to do damage, and he is a good option. I'm not trying to insult him by any means. Similar to him is another HP burner, arguably a better HP burner, but not as good of a damage dealer, and that is Mordecai. Mordecai places HP burn. I don't have him ahead of Skrank because it's not a 4-turn cooldown, but he does place it, meaning you can place it through Poison Cloud, which is very, very big, and affinity doesn't matter. He's got some turn meter stuff, just really nothing else besides HP burn, and then a 40 accuracy in all battles. Definitely a good champion if you don't have better options, but not the best. And then the last honorable mention I have, yet again, I'm struggling with factions, is Umbral Enchantress, almost identical to the number 10 champion in terms of reasons for the list, which is a block buff for 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. One of the best block buff champions in the game. The issue is she doesn't bring much else. She's got an AoE or a single target on the A1 based on defense. She does have a 2-turn provoke. So you're like, Sam, provoke and block buffs, why is she not higher? She would be, except for she places block active skills on herself that can't be resisted, blocked, or removed, and it just shuts down the rest of her kit. So if you provoke her, she's like a break in case of emergency provoker, but you will not be placing block buffs, at least not for a long time. So realistically, you just use the A2 and the A1, and based off that, I have the champion at number 10 just slightly ahead. So for the champion at number 10, it's a champion I've been meaning to build out, and a champion whose kit I really, really like. It is Ostrox Bone Glaive. I've got a 5-star here that I'm working on, and I even have a soul, I believe. Yeah, 5-star soul waiting for Ostrox, so I will be building him out. Just stay tuned probably for a video soon. But his block buffs ability, Spinal Surge, also a 3-turn cooldown. If 4 more enemies are alive, we're talking about Hydra today, there's always 4 enemies that are alive. Even if a head is decapitated, still counts as alive, not dead. That's why you can't get extra turns for killing enemies, things like that. 100% chance of placing block buffs on each enemy for 3 turns. So even if they did count, it would still be 2 turns, but it's 3-turn block buffs on a 3-turn cooldown. That's awesome. Similar to Umbral, obviously. But the rest of his kit I do think is a little bit better. 1 debuff from all allies removed, and then increased accuracy on all allies for 2 turns. That's on a 4-turn cooldown. Solid. Attacks 1 enemy, transfers a debuff, also heals the target with the ally with the lowest HP. That's pretty solid. And then whenever an enemy attempts to place a debuff on this champion, 20% chance to reflect it back on the attacker. Not by any means a crazy kit, but one of the best block buff skills in the game, and I think his kit provides just slightly more than Umbral Enchantress. So I have Ostrox at number 10. Number 9 is a champion that a lot of people would probably have higher, but I think he's good at a role, and that's about it, and that's Skiramis. One of the better epic provokers, if not the best epic provoker, debatably. 3-turn cooldown, provoke on all enemies, counterattack, continuous heal, so he can be a mischief tank. It's got another AoE with decreased attack, we like that. And then that's really it on the A1. So Skiramis, great provoke option. You know, you can potentially put him in like a curse set because he's got an AoE, but not the best for it. He is one of the better support champions for epics though. Number 8 is potentially the best damage dealer on the list, just slightly in terms as far as epics go, but you have to have pretty insane gear. And that's going to be none other than the Church of Whisper, Saf's number 1 girl. I don't know if I can show her on screen without getting demonetized. Basically, she just hits like an absolute freight train, but she needs to have probably +4 and probably 6-star soul, at least a 5-star soul, because you need crushing run on her to ignore defense. She gets extra turns when she crits. She can place decreased defense, or no, sorry, she can place weaken on the A1. I think that's it, right? And then if they're under decreased defense, can get an extra turn. She buffs herself and then ignores defense if they're under weaken. She hits absolutely crazy hard. She's in my Phantom Shogun team. She definitely can nuke. Again, the damage just has to be, the gear has to be crazy. In my mind, if you have that level of gear, you probably have better champions. But Whisper is crazy and does hit like a Mack truck. Number 7 is a champion that's definitely the ceiling is less high than Whisper, but you definitely need less good gear to make him work, and that's Royal Guard, one of the best AoE enemy max HP abilities in the game. Takedown, 4-turn cooldown, attack, enemy max HP, just nukes. Decreased defense on the A1 hits kind of hard. 4-time hitter hits kind of hard, but also places decreased speed. That's kind of what puts him above some of the other damage dealers on this list to me. Decreased defense, or a small, a little bit of decreased defense adds some utility. A little bit of decreased speed adds some utility, and he brings in a big damage ability. So, and attack in all battles, or attack in dungeons, sorry. So they're not helpful for Hydra, but Royal Guard, one of the OG damage dealers, and he is as good. Now this is probably my most underrated champion on the list, that or potentially number 1. Let me know your opinion at the end of this video. I don't hear this guy get enough love, but as far as Hydra goes, he is up there, and it's a Kemptum. I would argue he might be the best hexer in the game. He's definitely in the conversation. So 3-turn cooldown, good by itself. AoE, triple hitter, we love that. He's Void Affinity, we love that. Each hit 60 books to 75% chance, 80 with Sniper, of placing or of increasing the duration of Hex. If they're not under Hex, 75% chance of placing. So he will place it pretty much on all heads, and he'll probably place it and extend it on a few heads. And you can do this over and over again to extend it. I've seen like 12-turn Hexes at some point with a Kemptum. Also, we love a triple hitter for Giant Slayer, can do a lot of damage. Also, triple hitter in the A1 with poisons. Not the best for Hydra, but definitely not bad. Better than just nothing. And then if they're under Hex, chance of debuff spread. So you can spread other debuffs as well. It's got a cool little poison thing. It doesn't do much in Hydra, but it's still cool. And speed in all battles by 18%. So he's great for a lead. Kemptum, amazing champion. I have him at number 6. So now we're into the top 5. All these champions are standout exceptional. Going back to the Knight Revenant faction, this is a champion you can get on most of the link codes that I talk about in my videos. Rector Drath, she is just amazing. She's one of the best support champions in the game. She also has Perfect Veil on a 4-turn cooldown. She does massive heals. She increases your resistance if you're under Veil. She's got decreased attack on A1 and a single target revive with Perfect Veil. So Perfect Veil is one of the best ways to deal with the Head of Torment, and Rector Drath is the best epic that brings Perfect Veil. Or Veil or Perfect Veil. So she is a great option, albeit not the spiciest or coolest, and definitely not the most in-game, but if you were trying to progress in Hydra, she could be your champion. Number 4, arguably the best epic in the game, still amazing for Hydra, just not top 3, and of course I'm talking about Geomancer. Geomancer, big boon for him is an AoE on the A1, good for a provoke set, good for a curse set, but he can also do a ton of damage. If you have a particular head that is giving you a lot of trouble, let's say you're fighting the Head of Mischief, but you don't have Hex. Geomancer doesn't need the Hex to be on there to place this, and he can reflect damage as you take damage. Great way to get that head down. Or let's say you don't have a Perfect Veil, he can be a good way to help you get down the Head of Torment. If you don't have a Provoke, he can help you get down the Head of Decay. Kind of just target one head that's giving you the most trouble based on the team you're running. Geomancer can help you kill it faster. He's got a little buff strip on the A3 or the A2, which can be helpful. And the little bit of support, if you put on like the Head of Wrath, can definitely help keep you alive. I used to use Geomancer for a long time in Hydra. So I have him at number 4. Could potentially be number 3, but I like number 3 more. He was one of my champions that I used for a long time in terms of pushing a billion damage. He was in my team for a long time, and that's Husk. The other AoE, enemy max HP, besides Royal Guard, I do think he's a little bit better. His hit doesn't hit quite as hard, same cooldown, but the reason I think he's better is because the A1. I turn off the A3 personally, I just do the A1. Each hit has a 20% chance of placing Provoke, which books you 30, 40% chance. You can put the Mastery, Oppressive, whatever it is, that gives you 5% extra chance, but I do think he's solid as a backup provoker. So typically if you have someone with like a 4-turn provoke or 3-turn provoke, Husk can be a great secondary option in there for your provoke. And he hits pretty hard. And I really, really like Husk a lot. Now we're to the top 2. This is going to be a little bit contentious. Some people are definitely going to disagree with me. Let me know why in the comments. Talk about, I'll explain my reasons, but I'd love to hear your reasons on if you disagree. So I'm nervous about this, honestly. The number 2 champion I have, number 2 epic for Hydra, I have Ugo. I have 2 6-star Awaken plus 4 Ugos, and I only use one of them. She's amazing. She's super, super good. So really quickly, I'll talk about why she's amazing, obviously, in case you're unfamiliar, and then I'll talk about why I think number 1 is better. So 3-turn cooldown, decreased defense, and block buffs. Now, decreased defense, 100% chance. Block buffs is only a 75% chance, but it does increase by 5% for each alive enemy. So in Hydra, you have a 95% chance, 100% with Sniper. So I always recommend getting Sniper. Some people do not read that. They only have a 95% chance, which can hurt. Leech in the A1 is okay. You don't really love Leech in Hydra, but it's definitely not bad. This is an amazing ability. It removes all heal reduction and one other random debuff. Then heals all allies by 20% of her own health. So you need to build her with health. And then she can revive them if she's the last person standing. It's very, very difficult to do, but she's a good candidate for cruelty. She's a great, great option. She doesn't do a lot of damage, but she brings in multiple things. Decreased defense, block buffs, cleansing and healing. So 3.5, 4 things. She definitely is a great, great champion. But she's very replaceable by a lot of legendaries. The number 1 champion I want to talk about, I don't believe is that replaceable. At least he's the most unique, and that is Inquisitor Shamail, not Shamil, Inquisitor Shamail, like Ishmael. He's unbelievable. He's almost on the Whisper level of damage, and his utility is bonkers good. It is all about the passive. Each critical hit fills the champion's target by 7.5%. That's a great passive. He's going to have 100% crit. He definitely should. So that's a lot more turn meter for him. Whenever an ally receives a fear or true fear from an enemy, the skill will instantly remove the debuff and fill the team leader's turn meter by 15%. So for example, if somebody hits all of the heads and places fear or true fear, he will remove that, give that person 15% turn meter. But you also get counter attacks, and you get extra procs from ally attacks and things like that, and he would just give tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of turn meter. If you have not seen Shamail in action, go find one of my videos, go find somebody else's video. He is unbelievable. Or build him, better yet, build him yourself and use him in Hydra. He is legitimately that crazy. And then his damage, a lot of it on the A1, but most of it's coming from the A2, which ignores defense based on more buffs that he has. It already inherently ignores 25% defense, but 25% more defense for each buff from the champion. So if he has 3 buffs, he ignores 100% defense, and it absolutely nukes. A1 can decrease buff duration, but that's not really what it's here for. It's all about the passive, and the A2, he does so much damage. I like him in Heaven Cast because you need him to have buffs, but he's good in other ones as well, like potentially Crushing Rend if you have a 6-star soul on him, but he does ignore defense on the A2, so that's just for the A1s and the counterattacks here. He is legitimately such good damage, and whenever I have to build a team without him, I'm like, ugh, I kind of wish I could have Shamail in here, or like, oh, I'm going to build a new team with this faction. Can I just like throw Shamail in there at the last second? Because he is that good. When I do Hydra takeovers, which I don't love doing, he's one of the first champions I always look for. If you don't have like a Duchess, then I kind of want you, or a Feral, then I really want you to have a Shamail, because that makes my life so much easier when I'm building your team. And if you use Inquisitor Shamail, it will make your life so much easier when you're building that team. So anyways, let me know what you guys think of the video. The list, hopefully I didn't miss any champions. If I did, definitely let me know in the comments, but also give me a little bit of grace. I am human, I make mistakes. So thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys on the next one.